Hey YouTube, how's it going? Selena here, and today is November 20th, 2015, and I am here to do my baby Beans 1 month update or 6 week update. I don't know what I'm gonna call it, but 1 month update. As of yesterday, November 19th, he is exactly 6 weeks. AM via C-section, and of course, as I always say, I keep looking down because my list is right here. He's getting upset already. Hi. So yeah, it was an emergency C-section. I went in to get induced, and 24 hours later, I ended up having to have a C-section. So that is how he was born. I want to say maybe like the day after he was born, he was crying. I can't remember exactly why he was crying, but I just know he was crying, and I said something, and then he just stopped crying, and I was like, oh my gosh, he must recognize my voice, because you know they say that they can recognize your voice from the room, and it was nice to actually see something like that. I don't even know why I'm talking the way I am, but whatever. It was nice to actually see something like that, like him actually recognizing my voice after he was born. And then skipping back to the day that he was born, right after they finished closing me up for the C-section, we had skin to skin for an hour, and also during that time he breastfed, because I am breastfeeding. So during that time, I was breastfeeding him. His weight, he weighed 7 pounds 9 ounces when he was born. Of course, when we were in the hospital, he lost a little weight, but I want to say when we left the hospital, he had gained all the weight back that he lost. So the day we left the hospital, I believe, was October 11th, and he had gained back all that weight. Yesterday, no, when he was 1 month old, exactly 1 month old, I weighed him myself. I got on the scale, weighed myself, and then I held him and got my weight with him, and then I subtracted that. So at exactly 1 month, he weighed exactly 10 pounds. And then at his 6 week appointment, or at his 1 month appointment, which we got at 6 weeks, he weighed 11 pounds 4 ounces. So yeah, I have a big chunky little boy right now. Height, when he was born, he was 19 inches, 19 and a half inches. Currently he's about 22. They don't know how to do the length of a baby. I had a week appointment on Monday, and there he was like 21 and 6/8 or something like that. And then at his actual doctor's appointment, which was on Tuesday, he was 22 and some odd inches. So I'm gonna just go and say that he's 22 inches. At his doctor's, the way they measured him was like really weird. So anyways, his arm, when he was born via C-section, they actually broke his arm on the way out. In the hospital, we didn't know exactly what it was, so they took a picture of his x-ray of his shoulder, thinking that it was a shoulder, but it was fine. So we really didn't know what was going on until he was about 3 weeks. His doctor had referred us to go to Seattle Children's for him to see, I believe it's an orthopedic specialist, I think, I'm not 100% sure. And she took an x-ray of his arm and saw that that was broken, and that was around when he was 3 weeks. And that's why his arm was hurting him so much. And so now it's healing on its own. We have an appointment on December 1st to take another x-ray to see and make sure his arm is still healing. My mom thinks that they're gonna have to do something on his arm, because like right here in his arm there is a like a little bump there, and the doctor said that it was like cartilage there or something like that, but it's everything doesn't show up in the x-ray because it's not bone yet and it's cartilage, so we won't know if they'll have to do anything to it yet. But I'm so happy that his arm is healing on its own. After he was born, like, it was killing me. He would just let his arm hang there and he would never use it, and if you touched it he would cry, and that had me crying so much, because it would just hang there limply, and you can only imagine, like, I was pained by that. But he's doing so much better with that arm, and he's using it now, and it's his left arm. I'm trying so hard to keep him happy in this thing. So next, crying. When he was first born and he would cry, he would scream bloody murder about everything, but now he's starting to get his specific cries about specific things. I have yet to figure out what all of his cries mean, but I know when he's hungry, his cry sounds like he's yelling at you. So he'll kind of whine, kind of yell. It's not a screamer. It's not like a wah wah cry. It's him actually yelling at me, saying that he's hungry. Cooing. He started cooing. I want to say around 3 weeks he started cooing. Maybe around 4 weeks he started cooing. Hey, you're okay. You're okay. Around maybe 4 weeks he started cooing, but when he would coo, it would mean that he was going to cry. Now it's kind of in the same place, kind of not every now and then he'll coo. Hey, say hi, Chunky. Mwah. You see the lights? It's bright, huh? So every now and then, he would coo, and he won't cry with it, but still a lot of times when he starts cooing, it means he's about to cry. And he started smiling around the same time. I will put the exact date I got his first real smile. So first, when he first started smiling, it would mean that he was going to start crying. It wasn't a real smile, but not too long ago he started crying because he was not crying, smiling because he was happy. And I'll put his first real smile, well, it wasn't his first, but it was in that same day, around that same time, and the date that it was. Tummy time. He hates tummy time. My mom can get him to do tummy time just fine. When he's laying on her chest or on her lap, he doesn't cry with her. But with me, he will cry. I can't have him on my chest because he cries. If I put him on my lap, he usually cries then too. But I'm starting to do tummy time with him whenever I change him, and because he loves his changing table. Don't know why, he just does. So tummy time on the changing table is how I'm doing it now. And as you can see, he can hold up his head when he is vertical. When he is horizontal, he has yet to master that. So we still have to do some more tummy time to get him to master being able to hold up his head while he's horizontal, while he's laying down. And I don't know why he's got his head back like this, but he won't hold it up. I'm gonna sit you in my lap, okay, Chunky? Okay. And this thing turned off again, of course. He's still not 100% happy. Oh, also, as you guys can see, he's got on baby leggings, and I absolutely love these things. And they're big enough to where he can grow into them, so he'll be wearing them for a while. Isn't that right, Chunky? Feedings, I am breastfeeding him during the day. He feeds every or usually he feeds every 1.5 to 2 hours. At night it's every 2 to 3 hours. Right now he is cluster feeding, so right now whenever I feed him, he'll go to, usually we only do one breast per feeding, but right now he's doing 2 breasts, and he's feeding every hour to hour and 30 minutes during the day, and at night it's still every 2 to 3 hours. So yay, because I'm not staying up forever at night with him going to sleep. I don't know why I put sleep on there. I can't remember what I was gonna say about him and his sleeping, so I'm going to skip that one. Being held. He likes being held all the time. Probably my fault when he was in the, they say, or a lot of people tell me now anyways, that when you're in the hospital, they would put their baby down and they wouldn't hold them all the time, and that's what helped them like to be put down. So when you're in the hospital, after you have your baby, make sure you put him down. But I really couldn't put him down because while I was in the hospital with him, he was cluster feeding, so he would feed all the time, and I really couldn't do anything about that. And so from there he got used to being held. So but we are working on him being put down while he sleeps. He is okay with being put down. While he's awake, you just have to entertain him. He doesn't like to just sit there doing nothing. Isn't that right, Chunky? Isn't that right, man? So yeah, but we're working on being put down more and more. Because he likes to be held, I'm actually sleeping in the living room because it's a lot easier to breastfeed him, because when I sleep in my bed I slide down, and 2, maybe that's what I was gonna say about his sleep. I don't know. His witching hour, which is just an hour that he cries pretty much for no reason. I think he's crying though because he's fighting his sleep, but his witching hour is at 9 o'clock. It happens, I don't want to say every day, I want to say every other day he has his witching hour, and it's between 9 o'clock and 9:30, and he will just cry. And usually during that time he goes to my mom, but I'm starting to learn how to deal with it, which he usually ends up wanting to be rocked, which brings me to his swing. He loves his swing, loves it, but now that he's like 11 pounds, it doesn't swing as much as it used to anymore, which kind of makes me mad, but I'm also glad that we didn't actually pay for that swing. It was given to us. But to put him to sleep, he likes to be rocked, held, nursed, and that's usually how we get his chunky butt to go to sleep. He's got the hiccups right now. Yeah, so there's that. In one of my other videos, I showed you guys that I had made these for him, and he actually does quite like these. This big one we put on his changing table. He doesn't look at it all the time, but every now and then he'll see it and he'll look at it and he'll just stare at it. So making this or printing one of these off, or getting something that has patterns on it like these are really good. We also use these whenever he goes to the doctor to give him something to look at. As you can see, his chunky butt is here asleep. He just got finished eating, and I don't want to try to put him down yet because he'll wake up. So at his 1-month appointment, his doctor told me that he needs to start taking vitamin D, so he prescribed him some. And the last thing that I want to talk about, which is the biggest thing, is his head. My son has craniostenosis. I believe that's how you say it. I will be making a separate video for this to go into more depth about it. So in that video I will say it right. In that video I will make sure that I say it correctly. So what it is the premature closure of a suture in his head, and the sutures are these spaces in between the plates in the head, and these spaces allow our heads, or their heads, to grow as they get older, and one of them has closed too early. So the one at the top of his head right here has closed, and he's going to have surgery to get it open, and it's affected the way that his head is shaped. The one that he has causes his head to be more of an oval shaped, And again, when I make the video specifically for that, I will go more into it then. So for now, that is all. Until next video, I shall see you guys. Deuces.